following program is a production of Kaua'i Community Media.
Aloha everyone, it's Olivia with Kauai Community Media joining you right outside the county building. And I recently learned that there is no county council meetings today and next week. So it might be a while to a new update. So I thought it would be a great time to go down memory lane and take a look at some of the pertinent issues that the Kauai County Council has been looking at over the past few weeks. One of the first topics that I chose is definitely one that is important to our community, and it is public beach access. And public beach access is a continuous battle, and people will try to come for our beaches, and it is on us to protect that, not only for now, but for the future. So I'll turn it over to the council members to speak more about that.
Owner needs to allow the access.
That's it. And I think the basic thing was identifying, right, what is county, what is,
Correct.
and then a landlord. Done.
So we are going to be asking the state to do a shoreline survey.
Public, and more importantly, that certain landowners and peoples who own land in these areas are doing the right thing, which means making sure that there's beach access. If you want to share a little bit more about that, Councilmember DeCosta.
Actually, we had a piggyback resolution for planning department to evaluate and pursue public access. So again, Anini Beach is just one of many public accesses that we are trying to go after, and multi-accesses. There's a whole bunch of accesses on the North Shore and on the West that we want to open up for our public. So
the second topic that I chose was solid waste management. Not only because Huike has its own show about it, which you can find up here, but because solid waste management affects us all. I mean, the Hui transfer station has been closed for a while, and I'm sure that it is hard to get rid of your waste efficiently if one of the most central locations is closed for renovations. Those renovations are important though, so I'll turn it over to the council member to elaborate more on why that has happened, and see you in a bit.
A little bit about the solid waste closure of the land sites that we have going on for repairs and renovation, and just touch a little bit, then I'll touch on the ag dedication.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So right now, I mean, there's a little bit of a challenge for our community. We have the Lihue transfer station is closed until November. And then Kauai transfer station will begin to close in November. So Lihue will reopen in November, and then Kauai will be closing in November. And all of this was to make sure that both our transfer stations are up to code, making sure that it's run properly and keeping the environment safe. And so part of that information, we learned a little bit today by presentation by our Allison Fraley, who is our not department head, but our
solid waste department.
Part of the solid waste department, who shared the things that they're doing to make sure that we're following all the federal regulations at both locations.
She does a good job.
She's amazing, yeah. And so we're doing the work to make sure that both transfer station is up to code, and it's doing everything possible to protect the environment, and should be getting back online as soon as possible. So just be patient with our team. They've been working hard on this to make sure that you're all safe.
It's obvious that solid waste is a big part of the discussion for the future of Hawaii. And for our last topic, it's something that we all hear a lot about. Housing, especially workforce housing, is a very pertinent issue, and I'll turn it over to the council members to kind of finish off this conversation. Until the next time, this is Olivia with Huike Community Media.
I know what it is that I'm excited about is 24 more units in our Kealaula. That's where we have our transitional housing, bringing people from being without housing into housing in a nice and simple way, low-cost way, where they're assisted coming back into the fold of paying bills and having stability in their lives. So this is going to be adjacent to our existing property right there in Lihue near the water department. I want to give a special point of gratitude to the Division of to the Division of Forestry and Wildlife, because it is their land that's availing this place for these houses to
housing, workforce housing crisis that we all are in. Prices are skyrocketing. Fixer uppers selling for over $1 million because we have a supply and demand problem. And this bill that the chair is pushing, this idea has been pushed to us ever since I ran for office in 2012. These ag people say a no-brainer. allow a guest house, allow more family homes to be built on ag lots that help solve the housing crisis. But there's been pushback over the years from our planning departments and from other people who want to stick to what zoning is. They say ag is for farming, ag is not residential, but we're in a housing crisis. We don't have enough projects, developments coming on board to tackle the housing crisis. This is a great solution. I am in full support. Is it perfect? No, but it'll help tackle the housing crisis that we're in.
Yeah, and this was the first.
The open beam ceiling to having installation. So before it was where you cannot have open beam unless you have installation. It takes about anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000 more to double insulate a wall. Now, I'm not sure if you know about construction, but when you cut those 4x6 or 2x8 or 4x8 beams, that's going to be a rafters. They no longer let you have an open beam. You got to put insulation, so it's almost like a double roof. And this is costly, Addison. Like, nobody can afford it today, so we made it optional. I think this is going to help a lot of homeowners who want to build open beam ceiling houses, and we are just working hard to make our people's amenities easier and faster. And how about that 300 square foot shed that Council Member Raposo and I believe, was it Bernard Cavallo, that increased it from 200 square foot to now 300 square feet. So when you go to Home Depot to buy Nikki and your son a new storage for the backyard, which Home Depot sells 288 square foot of shed, you don't need a permit now. Right, you can go and just put that shed up.
Our families on ag lands to be able to build a guest house for their family members that we have this amazing exodus from the state by our kids because they can't afford to live here. And we keep talking about affordable housing opportunities and working with developers, but this is a way that we can get almost instant results, basically, with our families that are on agricultural properties that can now put up a guest house. And the way it works is for every allowable unit, residential unit that you have, depending on the size of your lot, if you're entitled one dwelling, then you can get one guest house. If you're on a larger agricultural lot and you can put up to 3 units, you can have 3 guest units. So it's going to really help. It's going to really help. You got 2 of your kids living on the mainland now. 2 of mine are living on the mainland, and the real reason is because they simply just can't afford to live here.